and you fill up exactly 2 tanks of gas. But you look at the meter on the pump, and it essentially forces you to pay the price for nearly 3.
Right, which is just a brutal feeling.
It really is. I mean, you don't get a third tank. You don't get, like, premium fuel or a free car wash. You just forfeit that extra money into the ether before you are allowed to drive away.
Yeah, it just vanishes.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, this isn't some hypothetical thought experiment. When you look at the latest U.S. inflation data from March 2026, specifically the 44.2% spike in fuel oil and the nearly 19% jump in gasoline, that is the literal mathematical reality hitting wallets across the country right now.
It really is. It's hitting everybody.
So, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are tearing into this March inflation report. We want to find out why the economic finish line just got, completely moved further away from you. We'll look at why the cost of your daily existence is suddenly spiking again, and why the hidden numbers buried beneath the headlines actually suggest a totally different, highly targeted story.
Right, because before we get into the weeds, we should probably just establish what we mean by inflation here, based on the data, because it gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah, please give us the jargon-free version.
Basically, it's just the speed at which prices are rising for everyday necessities, your food, fuel, rent, transport. And the underlying narrative in this new March data is a massive reversal of expectations regarding that speed.
A reversal. Because things were actually looking pretty good for a minute there, right?
They really were. For the first 2 months of 2026, the overarching sentiment in the markets, and honestly among consumers, was that the fever had finally broken.
Yeah, we were looking at a year-over-year headline inflation rate of 2.4% in January and February.
Exactly. And 2.4% is within striking distance of the central bank's ultimate 2% target. So the assumption was that all the macroeconomic tightening had done its job. We were, gliding right into a soft landing.
But then March happened.
Yeah, then we get this March print of 3.3% year over year, and it shatters that illusion entirely.
It really does. I mean, it is the economic equivalent of driving a car with a leaky tire.
Yeah.
For months, you've been carefully patching this slow leak, watching the pressure gauge stabilize. And right when you finally get comfortable enough to merge back onto the highway, you hear a massive hiss.
Oh, man, yeah.
And the steering wheel just violently pulls to the right. You thought the problem was completely solved, but suddenly you were forced to change your driving behavior all over again just to keep the car on the road.
That's a perfect way to describe it, because we went from a highly controlled 2.4% environment straight back to 3.3.
Which is a fundamental, abrupt shift.
It is. And honestly, the psychological toll of that specific shift just cannot be overstated, because economics is driven by consumer